everybody. Welcome to the local pundit.
If it comes in, oh, what a goal!
Oh no! Oh no! Celebrate! Are you kidding?
The Reds have choked up the league.
Game is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's WREXtra time. We just had another match, and wow, wasn't that a doozy? Did we all enjoy that? I think you did. We just beat Sheffield United 5-3 for our largest score total of the season, and we also, in a combined goal count, joined Coventry for two of their matches where they had a combined total of 8 as well. Now, this is WREXtra time. I'm Paddy Power, and we are on the local pundit, but I am not alone. Who is here with me? Hello.
Oh, that was boring, wasn't it?
Yeah, God, if all our matches could be like that, huh?
Good Lord. Oh, what a match. Who knew George Thomason's been playing out of position all season?
Yeah, that's a talking point. So for anybody who may be new here, what do we do on WREXtra time? We have a discussion about the match that just happened. We talk to you, you give me the topics, and we will discuss it. You are very welcome to come and join us, and I am going to throw out the link into the chat. So feel free to come on board. Please do have your camera active so it can be a proper conversation. That is a new rule that I mentioned last week that we will be including this week. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. So let me do that link first, and then we will get into it. So here we go. Link to show in chat. Done. Jump into the background there, guys. I will bring you in shortly as soon as I see you there. And here we go. See Lord of Bravos. Please bring Merrill in. Who's Merrill? Huh? He's not a Wrexham fan. He's
the blue bastard?
Birmingham.
He's probably hiding under a rock somewhere, and I don't blame him.
And Kim says it. Here it is. Here is the bombshell of the day. The best thing about today, Wrexham is officially this time ahead of Birmingham in the table. We have unofficially been ahead before the match finished, and we lost it. Like we've done a couple of times in the league this season, we've lost our winning positions. But have a look at this. Looky, looky, looky. So, if anybody didn't realize, we have just hit the halfway point of the season. It is an important number, 23 matches played. Now, the one little caveat here is Charlton Athletic do have one match in hand because they had one cancelled. So the max points they can get to is 30 points, which is still behind us. So it's not going to interfere with us. So here is a little clip from the updated league table after our match. And interesting that we have hit the halfway point, and we are basically exactly halfway up the league. We are equal on points with Southampton. They are ahead based on a +2 goal difference above us. And they are in 12th, we are in 13th. Happy with our half season so far? Fair?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not, I think if you look at what we've had to deal with injury-wise in important places, sitting right dead mid-table, I don't think anybody be complaining too much about that. I think a lot of fans would be happy with mid-table at the end of the season. So yeah, I think it's good. But I think we showed today that we can compete with good teams, and we can do it in an attacking way. Gotta say, it wasn't great defensively, especially in that first half. It's a little better in the second half, but it was fun to watch a game like that. That was like watching a National League game or a League 2 game. That's how we played games. We just went after people, and we haven't seen that for a while. So it was good to see a game like that where we just went after somebody. I think me and you talked while we were watching the game. Our attackers looked so good and looked like they were having fun. And, I mean, they were dangerous. You got those two guys together, Windass and Broadhead. It's, I mean, yeah, incredible from those two. The stuff they do. It was, yeah, I loved it. It was awesome. But yeah, I'm super happy to be sitting where we're at right now.
Okay, just a few little points here, guys, I want to throw out today. In the chat, guys, please follow this rule and no swearing in the actual comments in chat, please. Now, no one has done it yet, so I'm not giving out to anybody. The reason why is I'm going to actually show comments on screen today, because there's a lot of chat happening already and we're not going to get them up. We're going to miss out on a lot of good chat. So I'm actually going to put them up on screen. So I wouldn't prefer it. I want it that there's no swearing in that because it'll be on screen, please. Okay. So that's one warning given there, guys. So your comments will show up. So feel free to interact. I will still bring up some on screen as we can. But we're going to have a lot of discussion there. Esteban is also in the background. I'll bring you in shortly, buddy. We're just going to have a 2-minute about the general league and a couple of our buddies, seeing as it's halfway, and then we'll bring you in and start doing deep discussion on the match. So 2 minutes there, I'll be with you. Right, so I did this little clip and I just grabbed 4 above and 4. Oh no, I didn't actually. I grabbed 2 above and 5 below the 12 halfway point, and that actually includes all of the promoted teams. Kim, I had to do it. This is why I love the local pundit, huh? It's because of you guys. Love you too, Kim. I know that's what it says. Okay, so lucky, we are the highest ranked team of the 3 promoted teams. And Charlton can't catch us, so we can comfortably say that. So we're 13th, Birmingham is in 15th, only 1 point behind us and 1 goal difference between it. And then Charlton are potentially 1 behind us and a couple of goal differences.
Yeah.
So we are all pretty even for the first half of the season. Charlton seem to be on a major downswing. I will happily say that I think we could be doing a lot better, but injuries have really hampered us. And c'est la vie, first season, first window. So we're not as deep as we would like to be, and injuries will hurt us. So be it. It is what it is. But that also means if we don't have those injuries in the second half of the season, we may be able to improve on what we've done and at least climb somewhere further up. I believe Birmingham probably will as well. I actually think Charlton are going to start sliding from here, is my guess. But pretty good season for all of us for the first half.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm super happy with it. I think we're doing good. I think today we finally saw something I've talked about all season long. I think the plan was always to get Windass and Broadhead playing together behind Kiefer Moore. I think this has been Parky's plan all season. I think he just been reluctant to do it because I think he was worried about us defensively. The wing backs didn't quite fit with it because the way they played. So he was trying to, I think he was just trying to be a little too conservative, which we know that's Parky. He's very conservative that way. And so I think he was just being conservative. And I think today he finally said, all right, we're ripping the Band-Aid off and we're just going to go for it and see what happens. And we got 5 goals. So.
Okay. Nick, buddy, we always curse in the chat and it's never been a problem for the past 3 years. For the past 3 years, we have not been showing the entire chat on the screen. So please don't. Okay? It's a simple request. I'm sure everybody can manage. And if you notice, some people are having a bit of fun by putting them in with little asterisks.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's all play with the positivity tonight. Thank you. Right. So let's get into it. Esteban, let's bring you in. Let's bring this down. Hello, buddy. First up, welcome.
What's up, boys?
What's up, buddy?
Did we have fun tonight?
That was so exciting to watch. And the thing that we went down 3-1, and everything in me was like, oh no, we're gonna lose. Everything in me was like, I should be really worried. And then they did a zoom on, I think it was Broadhead's face. I don't remember, but they did a zoom of somebody's face, and you could tell that they were having fun. And I was like, oh, we're so gonna win this. And there was a remember a couple of weeks ago when Rathbone scored, and like the sheer joy in his face and just how elated he was. I saw that again. I saw that twinkle in their eyes, and I knew that we were going to come back stronger in the second half, and that we're just going to go out there and have fun. And that makes so much difference for these guys to be out there just playing with joy, playing with brio, with gusto. And I loved it. I loved to see it. So I'm really happy that it went this way. And I mean, how many weeks have I been beating this freaking drum that we should be more offensive minded? That Parky needs to look. Parky had no choice this week. He had no wing backs. He had no Maka to fall back on. He had no choice but to do this, and it worked. And they had fun, and they were out there just it was beautiful. It was beautiful and exciting to watch. Yeah, we were down a couple times, and it was a little like hair raising, but it was still so joyful to watch, and the crowd was into it, and we were all into it in the chat. It was incredible. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day.
Okay, let me ask you this: if our results for the second half of the season don't change, and we come out with the same number of points, doesn't matter whether they're wins, losses, draws, whatever. If we come out with the same amount of points in the second half as we had so far in this half, would you prefer to see this football than the other football, the old school football?
Yes, I would. I think that going into the second half of the season with this kind of football, with people getting behind the I think it's time to make it exciting. I think that the defensive mindedness has a place. There's a place and a time for it, but in this league, I think it's time to take off the brake a little bit and let them go out there and have some fun. I think the guys that we brought in are guys that are used to playing this way and scoring goals and having fun and being out there, a bit loose and fancy free. And I think that Parky's style of play has held them back a little bit. So yeah, I'd love to see more of this. Absolutely. I think we would all love to see more of this. Look, this is not the lineup I wanted. Let's be fair. I wanted Smith and Hardy out there on the field at the same time, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Just the ball movement was more fluid. The passes were more precise. The fun that they were having, you could tell. And even towards the end of the game, I saw that dive right outside the box. They were starting to play frustrated. So even though we didn't frustrate them like I love to see, because I love to see that too. I love to see teams get frustrated when they're playing us. But that was still part of the game. And when I saw that guy's dove, I'm like, yeah, they're gonna lose. There's no way they're coming back into this game because they're just not. They're frustrated. They're playing sloppy now, and we held it together. Everybody, and then I saw the flood of red shirts to the back line. Everybody just playing the defense. But then they went up the field again when there were opportunities. It was wonderful. It was so joyful to watch. Anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely, I totally agree with you. It was fun. It was a lot of fun to watch. It was fun to see. I was surprised. I thought we'd play a little. I mean, I just assumed we'd play more defensive, but we definitely played more like we did in the Coventry match where we just went right at them. You know, we didn't sit back, and we just went at them and went toe to toe with them. And I think it did cost us defensively early on in the match.
Yeah.
I think it left us open a little at the back, but I think we showed, like, as the game went on, the boys got a little more used to where they needed to be, and maybe they needed to drop off just a little deeper. They were getting a little too far forward maybe in the first half, and they did a much better job.
And even AO, even though he let in 3, AO was still a rock back there. 2 of those goals, there was nothing he could have done with 2 of those goals. One of them, iffy, but some of those saves in the second half, beautiful.
Great saves in the second half. Yeah, I think there was definitely one that I think he was at fault for in the first half. Maybe, probably 2 he could have done better. The one, there was nothing. The first goal was unbelievable. That was an unbelievable game. He wasn't getting anywhere near that one. Yeah, but yeah, he definitely.
It was that second goal. That second goal was iffy. He could have kept that out.
Yeah,
he was a little bit out of position there, and the third one with a punch, Yeah, I think he went for the ball, and I think the ball didn't go where he expected it because of the header. The guy got in front of it.
That's the one where AO decided to come forward, but he was coming forward from a basically almost kneeling position, and when he got up, he was only high enough to touch the shoulders of the players coming in. It's like it was a mistake. He was caught. He was not going to make that ball. He should have just stayed on his line and tried to stand up as best he can and hope his reaction could do it if the defender didn't get on it. But look, AO didn't have a great match. He had some mistakes in him, fine. The defenders had some big mistakes in them today, fine. It's a new system for everybody. So I will give that allowance kind of for now, is my opinion on it. But my opinion on this, like we've switched the formation now, let's say, right? And the old formation, our defense was strong, our back line was strong, and we were getting a lot of draws. We were hard to score on, but we could not get our attack together. We upgraded our attack this summer with Moore, Broadhead, and Windass. You have to say very high level championship players, maybe not tippy top end, there are players better than them individually or whatever, but we have upgraded our front attacking options. We have upgraded our back a bit, bar Max. We have some new players in there. But if you were to compare the defensive players in their positions versus the attacking players in their positions, who in theory would you think needs to be upgraded next? Just going forward, even if it's a year from now, who would you hopefully be upgrading next? Would it be the defensive players or the attackers?
You asking me?
Both of you.
I mean the wingers for sure.
No, I'm not talking about the wingers right now. Defense, attack. The 3 players. The 3 in defense, the 3 I mentioned for attack.
Wow, that's a hard one because
I don't think it's hard at all.
You want me to say Max, but Max been stepping up.
I said defense or attack. Not Max.
Well, I mean, of course, Jay Rodriguez. Jay Rodriguez is long in the tooth. And
didn't say Jay what either. We haven't upgraded
attack. You said attack.
No, listen. Okay, let me try and be more clear. Then maybe
I'm not understanding.
We upgraded our attack with 3 new players. That is Broadhead, Moore, Windass. Then our 3 main defensive players, we upgraded 2 of them, and we have Max in there. So I'll say what the 3 players we put in attack are higher quality championship players in their position versus the players we have in their defensive positions. They're good in defense, but for me, we brought in those attacking players to get the attack working, and it's not working. Now it started to work today. That gives us some defensive frailty, but I think we can potentially upgrade or train in the guys to do it better with the new system. It could just be a system thing that they haven't done it enough and they'll get even better. And they may not need to be upgraded, but I would still upgrade the defense before those attack. And now we've got them all together. I think it works better this way.
I would agree to that. I think that, look, I've been of the mindset that we've had the pieces we've needed all along. It's just a matter of letting them play. And that's the drum. To be honest with you, that's the drum I've been trying to beat. Like almost like since like game 5. It's like put Hardy and Smith out there. Like let the attack players attack. Let them go out there and like be attack minded. And that's the drum I've been trying to beat. It's like play a little different style because I've thought that we've had the pieces all along, to be honest. And I think today proved that. I think today proved that we have the pieces. I don't think we need to upgrade at this. Okay, no, that's not true. I think yes, we need upgrades. I think we need more attack-minded players. But let's see how it plays out. Maybe this is the attack formation that we need. You know, and yeah, okay. Maybe Max needs an upgrade.
No. Okay.
I don't think Max needs an upgrade. I think Max needs a rest. Max has been playing for too long.
Right. I'm going to be clear for everybody because in the chat they've been jumping on the save Max a little bit, and that maybe I'm going a bit crazy here. Let me be clear. I'm not trying to say we need to change Max. I'm just making a point that maybe isn't eloquent enough, and people are kind of missing my point on it. I don't think we need to upgrade that back line straight away. What I'm saying is I would prefer to take the flaws in the team, be the back line if we're pushing attack. And so be it. If we push it all out attack, it's going to cause us defensive problems. It's going to make the back line look a bit worse. It's going to make AO maybe look a bit worse sometimes. Take it on the chin. Let other teams score more goals. But if we're coming out with more wins and achieving more points, so be it.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. My wife was like, "What is happening right now? How is this even 5-3? I've never seen Wrexham have this kind of scoring. How is this scoring so high? It's like an NFL game going on here." And I'm like, "Listen, we had to take some sacrifices in the back in the defense so that we could be more attack because Parky had no choice this week, and this is the result, and that's what's going on. Is that like, oh, okay, so you had to lose some of the defense for some of the offense. I'm like, yeah, exactly what's going on. So, and I think everybody saw that. I think I saw a bunch of people saying that in the chat. It's like, and like I said, people were really, really worried at the beginning of the game. About a third of the way through the game, people were really worried because we were down 3-1.
Of course, it should be.
Or 2-1, right? Yeah, of course it should be. But then when I saw how composed and how much joy they were having, how much fun they were having out there playing, I think they took on the challenge. I think they were out there like, who cares? I think it was back to that whole, how when Viking Jesus, when he comes on and he talks about how the guys are like, oh yeah, we're down 3-1. And the guys used to look at me and like, we're going to win. Don't worry about it. And like, I saw that whole thing kind of playing in my head. It's like, oh, that's what's going on. These guys are these guys are not worried. They're out there just having fun. And I love to see it. It was lovely to see because the crowd was also fed and they fed into it. They did not let up and they kept singing and they kept cheering the team on. it's games like, what was that? There were like 3 games ago when we were at home, and like you could tell that they were out there just playing defeated and not making the attack, and the crowd was just not into it either. And it was the whole team was deflated.
During tonight's match, I said to Aaron at one point, I think it was pretty much in the second half, I said the guys look like they're having fun.
Yeah.
They look like they're enjoying the football. Now, especially I was aiming that at the guys up front because they were, they were getting service. They were playing with each other, the 3 of them. They were combining in so many different ways. Thomason was getting some great passes coming in from the wings, getting service into them. And other players as well, they were getting up there. And I said they look like they're having fun. Now, maybe the defense took a while to get more comfortable and maybe a bit more fun out of it, but they started to look more comfortable. They started to look happy as well. Once we started once we started fighting in that second half and really going for it and saying, we can do this. They all looked like they were enjoying it. I want to see
Longman didn't have much of a role in the game, but when he came in, he too was out there having fun. And like he was waiting. He was biding his time and waiting for his turn. And that's the thing about the play today. There was no frustrated, like, hands being thrown up in the air, like, come on, I'm open. No, they were just like, oh, okay, we got this. Like everybody kept composed. And I think that was the big difference this time around.
Okay.
So
guys, we got a new guest coming in.
Cool.
The one, the only, you've never seen him here before. Habs.
Habs! What's up, Habs?
Yeah, guys. Yeah. Did you want to see me with the camera on? Or?
Yes, please.
Come on.
Come on.
All right, one second. This, I've got something going with it. So.
We need proof that he is real. Oh.
Love that.
Okay.
I don't want to give too much away. That's the only thing.
That's fine. That's fine. Right. Aaron, pick a topic then to dive into. A player or something that happened.
Okay.
What
big topic. Probably the biggest topic today. Our left wing back, George Thomason, comes in and looks like he's been played out of position all season because he looks like our best wing back. So, what's everybody's thoughts on that? What do you think, Caps? Dive into that.
That was something that's an interesting choice. I think that was so. Seeing him being played in a position he's never played as, and showing that he can actually do something with it it's quite incredible. He is.
He looked really good.
He did. He looked completely comfortable in that position. He's only had 3 days for doing that as well on the training pitch.
Well, we don't know how long he's been playing with that because Parky did say about putting a midfielder out there last week. So who knows how long he's been practicing it or trialing it. But yeah, it's not been long, of course.
Of course. But I think that with the okay,
no, go ahead.
What the interesting thing about that is that the using of the position, that especially the formation he's using is a pure 3-4-3, which was slightly different to what we would usually have before, which would have been a 3-4-2-1.
Yeah, I don't think it was really any different than what we'd usually have. I think it was just the 2 players. If you watch the interplay between Windass and Broadhead, both of them were all over the place.
Yeah.
There were times where Windass would come over and he'd be out wide on the left doing an overlapping run with Thomason, and then Broadhead would be underneath him, and then vice versa. You'd have Broadhead all the way over on the right, even though in theory, when you look at the formation, they're Windass is playing on the right, and Broadhead's on the left. They were both switching and just moving. It was very fluid. It was very creative. It was a lot of fun to watch what those guys would do. And I think what that is, it was just high quality players being allowed to play and not being stuck in a very very rigid system. And here's the other thing: we were able to get balls to them to their feet. It wasn't long balls all day; it was balls to their feet, so they could do something with it and be creative. And they were allowed to do some of that stuff. It basically looked exactly like I thought it would look. And because we've always seen, like, when they've played in that system, when we did it before, the difference was you had O'Brien playing on one side of it, and then Windass on the other. Be off him. And O'Brien, I think, although he's got an unbelievable motor and he's a very good, he's a hard player and he goes. He's not near as creative as Broadhead or Moore, and I think the stuff that he does is more by effort. He causes issues with the defenses with his effort. It's not necessarily with his creativity. You know what I mean? He's a good passer, but I think he's just he's very he's just not quite as good as those guys are being creative. Whereas you had two very creative players playing together today, and we're able to move the ball around, and we're able to do things and get in different positions and create. And I thought it showed today. And I thought it worked out great.
One thing to point out is that I've been saying this in the chats, and I've been saying it through the last extra time as well, is that the one thing we always need is ball carriers and passers. We've been desperately needing ball carriers and passers, and since we've been playing so pragmatically in regards to this, whenever we get to the point where we're at our goal box, we just hoof it out. We don't actually pass the ball out of the place like proper professional teams that are higher up in the Championship or the Premier League. If you saw it, we did not hoof it out of our own goalie box. We passed it out, and we carried it out as well. And you saw the proper implementation. You could see one part of it is something to do with youth. Having Thomason on that left gave unbelievable, because he's young and athletic. It gave us that speed and acceleration that we needed, as well as his creative, especially since he's left-footed as well. He's a natural left foot.
Yep.
That just made us much more dangerous to be able to do the crosses. His crosses were constant as well, always getting into the box. And if not that, he would pass the ball to someone else. You just saw we did not do the hoofing, and we were not relying on that. And we were constantly pressing with those three at the front. I think that 3-4-3 formation, that pure 3-4-3 was in, sure, we was going to like a 3-4-2-1 or a 3-4-1-2 sometimes, going back and forth into that. But that 3-4-3 allowed us to use the players that we have. And thank goodness we're not using McLean, because he's a bloody liability at this point now.
Another thing I noticed is that Thomason was doing everything in his power to keep the ball in play. He was not letting the ball out of he was not letting the ball out of the sidelines. He was running for every ball, and he kept bringing it back to the middle of the park. That was beautiful to watch too, because normally that's not the style of play that Maka plays. Maka lets the ball go out of go off the sidelines, and I don't think Sheffield United was expecting that either. That's another thing that frustrated him is that over on the left side they kept fighting for every ball, and you could tell. And
Sheffield United,
him and Broadhead, they were out there fighting for every ball.
Yeah, Sheffield United are a really strong team, even though their position doesn't show it in the table at the moment. I don't think there's a lot of teams in the bottom half that can keep up with the type of play we showed today. If we're able to do this to the weaker teams of the league, I think a lot of them are going to fall to this style of football that we're doing. Like, United were a fantastic team, and they nearly took us out. But it's the first time playing it as well. I think this will be really effective towards at least the bottom half of teams, and maybe very well against the other teams as well. So, yeah, I want to see it more. I definitely want to see how we get on in the second half of the season. And we know we're going to keep getting better and better players for it. So if this style works for us, at this point, Parky has no choice but to pay attention to how today went and how much more exciting today went. And if he doesn't pay attention and goes right back to
to what he's used to, then I'm gonna start questioning Parky. You know, if he pays attention and starts to realize that he has the pieces that he needs and starts to, you know, to be more tactical about using them, then I think Parky's tenure has a lot of legs. So, you know, I'm not one to jump on that Parky out bandwagon at all. But, you know, he's got to pay attention how today went.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, somebody, I think Kim said something about Broadhead and Windes playing Rover. What does that mean?
I think you're just referring to the fact that they were playing all over the pitch. They were moving everywhere. They weren't set in a position where they're doing the same thing over and over and over. They're allowed to move around and do whatever they want, which
might be a slight typo from roving player.
Yeah.
Rover player.
Okay.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
How's this cracking me up over there?
What was that?
He must be in Interpol's most wanted.
Possibly. This is going to be my thing from going on disguises. I'm going to come in with
different ones.
Different disguises.
Okay. So let's move on to AO for just a minute, and then we'll move on there. His match tonight. What do we want to say about that?
First half was not great. Second half, I thought he was terrific.
I would agree with that. I think that two of the goals, there was nothing he could have done. I think that decision to come out and try to punch that ball, that was a poor decision. I think he was completely off his mark there.
Yeah.
So, you know. He did okay.
I would say the first goal that he let in is that one you just couldn't see coming. He was going in a direction that was going to go, but then it veered off. The trajectory just veers off, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go into the way. He should have gone for it and reacted quicker, but what can you do at that point? But the other two goals, he should have been a bit more on it.
Yeah.
I will say though, let's not forget that diving save that he did that came across the goal, long stretch, hand out. That was going in. Was that from a free kick or?
Yeah, it was a free kick. That was
a free kick outside the box.
Gustavo Hammer was.
That was right outside the box. That one.
Yeah, beautiful free kick. It was an unbelievable save.
Strong hand to hold it and knock it.
There was another time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was another time that he came out and he was brave and he slid and took the ball away from somebody's feet.
Yeah,
that was beautiful. That was beautiful too.
He needed to react to that one. He put his body on the line for that one because they were going to get to that at the same time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just me or does Moore sometimes when he's in the box look like a baby giraffe when he has the ball at his feet?
Hey, I don't care what he looks like. If he scores 2 goals every game, I'll take it.
He's a traditional 9, and he's not like a really skilled number 9. You're not going to get like a Harry Kane out of him. You're not. So, or he's not going to be like Haaland, where he's just going to bulldoze his way through. He's a fox in the box. He is. So he gets in there. He's always sneaky with the way he scores. He's not going to be that kind of guy where you just get it in and it's going to be the most lethal goals, and you're not going to be intimidated by it. So. But he's a fox in the box type. He's sneaky for the way he gets the goals in.
I am going to go on Sheffield United's forum tonight to see how they reacted to tonight's match.
Let's do it right now.
And what they say about their ex-player, because that is crazy. Like a lot of the fans wanting rid of him. Now, fair enough. Look, he might not be perfect for their style. He might be a bit older and whatever, you know. But I thought he'd be good for us. I know John didn't. He absolutely thought Kiefer wasn't going to work for us. But didn't he put the afterburners on tonight when he went chasing one of those balls for that goal, for the third last goal?
Yes, his second goal.
Last goal, not a penalty.
It was the fourth goal, I think it was.
Yes, the fourth, because the penalty was last. And we said it a couple of times. He's deceptively quick at times. When he gets to full pace and has a bit to run, he can get up there. But that was a lovely final goal.
You should go right. You should go right now, Paddy. We should see what they're saying about Wrexham.
Well, guys, anyone who's in the Discord, feel free to jump on it now and send me some screenshots, and I'll maybe show them. If
the main thing is, sorry, I was going to say the main thing is the way we played is that we can attack, and we know we can attack, and that's the main thing. If we had stuck Cae on there, who knows what could end up happening? He's not ready yet. Even if we have subbed him in, he could end up injured in the process. The second thing is having Thomason play in a position, since he's a natural left foot, that helps so much with the crossing as well. And the thing that was interesting is that it freed up Longman so much space. It did. They kept giving Longman so much space. This is the perennial situation when we play in that 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-1-2, is that when we have Cae and Kabore, we could switch either side. In this situation, when we played the pure 3-4-3, it was far more. What's the best way to put it? They were. You could tell how much more aggressive we were, but the way we were pressing, it was just different. It was a lot different, and you could tell you saw, and I know you, Paddy, you wanted to see this for a while. Triangles were everywhere.
Yeah,
every triangle. They were just proper passes.
They were proper passes. I nearly had a heart attack when they passed their way out of their own box when the Sheffield United were in attack mode. I was like, oh my God. They passed like 5 times to get the ball out, and they went on attack.
That's what I've been asking for as well.
Where did this come from?
And that's not the only time. You had either Doyle or Broadhead. If they get the ball to them, they would either carry the ball out, so they were being ball carriers, and passing the ball forward. So it's either Doyle who would get it out and get it to Broadhead, or Broadhead would get the ball and carry the ball forward as well. So you would see him either go to Windass, or he'd go to Thomason, or he'd go to Moore.
Yeah.
When they did all that passing in my head, I was like, "Oh, Paddy's gonna love that."
Okay, I just pulled up a little slip here. This is top scorers for the season so far. Adam Armstrong has 11 with 1 penalty goal. Brandon Thomas Sante is on 10. Kiefer Moore is on 10. No penalties, either of those. Joe Gellert on 10 with 1, and Carlton Morris on 10 with 3 penalties.
Yeah.
So that is on track for 20 for the season?
Yep.
That's pretty good. I'm happy with that for Kiefer Moore, hey?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. It's nice to have have a player that's right there in the top, of the division, and we usually do though. Like we kind of always have had one that was, it was Mullen before, and then I think last season for a big chunk of the season, I think it was it Lee that was right up around there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he didn't play near as much in the second half of the season. But we always have a player, it seems like, that's right at the top of the scoring charts. And so, yeah, it's nice to see that he's up there.
So let's talk about the defense then for a little bit. So we got Doyle, Hyam, and Max, and passing and how they did tonight. What did we think there?
I think the link-up game was good. The link-up game, defensively, they did all right. But this is a newer system, and the way we're playing is different. But the link-up game, especially on the right and the left, was incredible. The way Max was just passing, Sheaf, and Longman were passing the game, doing the passing game around their area to either get the ball into the midfield or to get the ball further forward with Longman to carry it. That was incredible to see. We could use a bit more speed on that side, though. But it was still something. And then on the left, you'd have Doyle doing the yeoman's work, getting the ball forward as well, and either getting it to Thomason. Was it Matty James or Sheaf? Was it? I can't remember which side. Which is on. But they were getting the ball forward, getting the passing on through Thomason, to Broadhead, and then back to Thomason, either getting to the cross. That kind of defensive, we were more attack moded on that. They were kind of average overall in terms of defense. They were stopping what was necessary as opposed to what was needed. But if we had gone with what we would needed, then we would have gone completely pragmatic with that.
Mm-hmm.
I also noticed that the defense didn't hold on to the ball that long. You know, they kept trying to push it forward, which was nice to see. I only saw them going back a few times, and as opposed to like how we normally play. It's like they're always pushing it back. That was also nice to see that difference.
Yeah.
Sorry. Right.
Doyle has improved tremendously. Woody just said, and Doyle was that header by Doyle though. Oh, he almost scored. Doyle
almost the one that
scored.
Yeah. He almost scored that, and then what was it? Was it a Sheaf or was it a Broadhead who tried to kick it in?
Yeah.
After?
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 or 3 chances right there. All it's just boom, boom, boom. It's like, oh my God, how did that ball not end up in the back of the net?
Bonkers.
We had a total of 18 shots. 18 shots with 8 big chances. It was.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point. I'm gonna bring up the stats for the match. We'll have a quick look at them, and that'll be interesting.
We had nearly 60% possession.
Mm-hmm.
55.
Ah,
okay.
It's a 58 when I last saw it.
Yeah.
Maybe it changed. Or a different website. Maybe they do it different ways. Hang on. Keep chatting there while I find it. I was on the wrong screen.
Yeah, it was definitely it was a surprise how much of the ball we had and how aggressive we were with it, how attacking. It wasn't just having the ball for the sake of having it. It was we got the ball and we tried to do something with it, got forward, and we're, like you said, I think, would you say 18 shots today? That was one thing me and Paddy were talking about while we were watching the game. He had mentioned there was a shot that it was earlier on in the match where we took a shot. I think it was it wasn't. Oh, who was it? Matty James, I think, took a shot, and it was kind of quick. We were just getting into our attack, and not everybody had gotten up there yet. And he kind of took a first touch and then shot. And Paddy made the remark. He's like, I wish he hadn't have done that. And I think we'd gotten something happened there. Me and him, he had to do something, or he had walked away from the screen. But I was saying I wanted to respond to that, and I forgot about it. Maybe something else happened. But I actually didn't mind that he took that shot because we've not been taking shots lately, and so I was okay with, even though maybe it wasn't a high chance shot, like it wasn't a something that was likely to trouble the keeper. At least it was a shot on target. You know what I mean? It was. I don't mind that. Like, let's get some shots in. Let's force them to have issues. You know what I mean? Let's force them to deal with balls because we've just not been doing that lately. I mean, we've got how many games in a row where we've had like 3 or 4 shots total for the whole game. It's just looked dreadful. So I didn't mind the fact that we were shooting like that. Taking shots like that and taking the risks. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm just going to call out the numbers here for some of our players. Our front 2 lines here, right? The numbers in FOTMAB are crazy. So up front we have Broadhead 8.6, Moore 8.6, Windass 8.3. Then in behind we have Thomason 9, Sheaf 8.3, James 7.5, Longman 8. And then of course it drops a bit for the back line and Okonkwo. They are some great scores for up front. Obviously, after scoring 5 goals, but it's not often we see numbers that high for a whole team.
Yeah.
Ball carries and passes. It's everything to do with that. Ball carries and passes, and the youth of the age of the players.
Yeah. Someone just asked how many shots did we have against Swansea? Was it 2 or
I
something?
can't remember.
18 shots for this one. Okay, I've got one question I just thought of with the lineup like this. Considering this is the first match we use this lineup, I did mention as well during the match that it would have been hard for Sheffield United to kind of set up and prep for a team like this because it's so fresh to us. Do we think we're going to find it harder when teams know that we're going to do this lineup? Will they be able to set up better knowing we're doing a 3-4-3?
They might be able to, because once we're because we're going to get used to playing like this, and they're going to be able to set up defenses like this. But then, if we're going to keep coming forward, they're going to be much more defensive, and we may end up having to try to break them down if we're going to keep going. If we play like we do today, in a much more aggressive pressing style of play.
Yeah.
And one other thing, did you see how many turnovers we got as well?
Yes. Yeah. Extremely aggressive.
Aggressive amounts of turnovers. We were overloading so many players. Their midfield was so overloaded. Their wings were overloaded completely.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fantastic stuff. It was incredible. Like like I said, I've been banging this drum all season. I really think this is what he's wanted to get to. I think he's just been looking for the chance to do it, and I think just injuries and because he's a little more conservative, he didn't want to go to it until he thought we were ready. And I do think we were kind of forced in. It was kind of like, okay, it's now or never. You know what I mean? Maybe we're not quite ready to do it, but we might as well give it a go. And I think it obviously worked out fantastically.
And Broadhead was able to play like he was in his natural position as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of playing like as an attacking midfielder, he played as a left winger more than anything else. With Thomason acting as a fullback instead. So that dynamic in of itself changed everything. That did.
Okay, I'm going to give a quick shout out there to River Taffy for his donation. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Many thanks for all your effort during WREXtra time. It's much appreciated, and I love doing it, and Aaron loves doing it. And thank you to all the guests who come on to help make this show as well. Thanks for your time. Cheers, Taffy.
Yeah, thanks, Taffy.
Okay, Esteban is back. There you are.
Thank you, Taffy.
Okay, I can't get off the screen anymore. No. Paul Kelly, imagine if we played this lineup against Swansea.
Oh my God. We would have destroyed them.
Yeah, I think this would have absolutely destroyed Swansea. Looking at how they played.
But it's really it's unfortunate that Parky was forced to do this, right? Because of all the injuries, because Maka is an idiot, or was an idiot this week. He's not generally an idiot, but come on. That was really poor. When I saw that, I was like, that's my wife too. My wife was not surprised. She said, "Oh yeah, that guy." Anyway, anyway, yeah. It's unfortunate that Parky was forced to do this, but like I said earlier, I really, really hope he pays attention because because this is what's needed. This is the next step, and the team is ready. It's time. It's time to let the dogs loose.
Well,
he's saying it for weeks.
It may be unfortunate, it may be not, because whether he wanted to do it or not, whether he thought we were ready or not, it worked tonight, and I think it absolutely showed the positives from the midfield and the attack side. It did show some negatives from the defensive side, but after the entire match, I kind of believe that the defense can build into this. They need a bit more time, and we can make that more solid. But this comment here kind of reminded me of something Aaron said earlier, and it's getting in late, but Parky finally took the handbrake off. Thank goodness. First game he's enjoyed watching since Coventry. Now, the problem, I suppose, from maybe Parky's mind is when you take the handbrake off and go full attack like that, it's completely counter to the defensive aspect he wants. And after maybe the first, 20 minutes when we were down to 3 goals, Aaron said, yeah, maybe this is why Parky didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because maybe he was worried about the defensive line, that it wasn't going to hold up without such additional support from the midfield and from the attack, because everybody was defensive in the last setup. And, you know, the boys showed him that, you know, people say it, that sometimes you just have to score more than the other team. It doesn't matter how many they ultimately score on you. If you can continue to attack and continue to score the goals, then that's what will win you the matches as well. So a bit of a balance. I think we can do that with a Parky defensive nature, you know, but if we can have our attackers up there playing to their abilities, and that's this is the one thing. This is the first time we have seen the 3 boys play to their ability. Moore, Broadhead, and Windass. They all had a good game. They all passed to each other. They were all connected in different ways, interplay in different positions with each other, going for chances and shots. And we hoped that's why he bought them. Because when we saw them rotating on the bench, you're kind of, okay, 2 of our new stars are just rotating for each other. Now, the question is now, if this works, we need some more. Because we actually need replacements for them.
Here's the thing. The last time we were aggressive, not as aggressive as today, was against Coventry. We beat Coventry.
Yep.
Right? I really, really think that with the right tweaks, we can start being just seeing how they played today, with how much brio and how much joy they were having, how much fun they were having. I think we can be as good as Coventry has been, because that's the difference. Those guys go out there and they play like they're having fun. They're just scoring for fun. And I think Wrexham did prove that they can do that today. So I think we can be out there being as good as they've been dishing out. So I wouldn't be surprised if the correct tweaks are made, that we start shooting up the table. So crossing my fingers for that.
Well, certainly, look, if we look at all the draws that we had in our run, and we just played more aggressive, and we were talking about this, would you end up with enough wins, even if the other ones converted to losses, that you'd end up with more points? And I think so. And this new tactic is going to lead to more losses than we've potentially had. But I think it's also going to lead to more wins and ultimately lead to more points. I think it has a much, much higher upside potential if we're able to play this style, even with our better players. And we don't even know that this is our best 11 on the pitch yet.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing to say is that when you invite pressure, you invite mistakes.
Yes.
So if you don't, I've been saying that since the Swansea match, you invite pressure, you invite mistakes. If you don't play aggressively to be able to go back up, to go against them, you're never going to win. And you're never going to get your chances in. Today, we didn't invite pressure. We put the pressure on them. We put massive pressure on them. And they broke. They broke, they did. They were all over the place after a certain point.
They did, about 2/3 of the way into the game. When that guy dove, that's what I was saying earlier. When that guy dove, right, we're just outside the box. That's when I knew we had him, because like by then they were already playing frustrated, and that's what Wrexham does so well. They frustrate teams, and if we can get that combination going where we're being aggressive and we're still frustrating teams, that's a winning combination right there. So, yeah. I love seeing them frustrating teams.
But the only thing is that one thing we should take into consideration is that before this match was set up, I'm guessing Wilder was already expecting us to play a completely different game plan.
Mm-hmm.
They will be expecting us to play the same way we have been for the last 9 matches.
Mm-hmm.
Playing very defensively, no press, just very pragmatic, no expansive football, hoofing it up when we can. And that's probably what they were expecting more than likely. But today we didn't do that. We took the fight to them.
Yeah,
We did take the fight to them, and they adjusted as well in the second half. They actively slowed down because I think they wanted to control the ball and they wanted to dominate more. And
yes, that's one thing. They tried to control possession,
but it didn't work for them. It did not work. We kept stealing the ball from them, and we kept trying to attack. And every time we did get the ball, it was the same instant. Right, guys, pass. We're going to attack. End off. We're not messing about with this ball. And they got people up there to assist. There was only twice, I think, I might recall, where a player got up there singly and nobody else was able to support them, where it almost ended it or certainly had to be majorly held up in order to try and get support. But almost every time we got up there with more than one person going through for the attack, which was great because so many times we end up with a solo attacker up there and nobody available for him.
Well, I just realized Charlton lost again.
Okay.
Oof.
they're a joke of a team at this point.
Yeah, they're really not looking good.
They have a clown in charge.
Perishable. They're only 1 point behind us. But they're on the slide. Yeah, they're on the way down, we think.
All right, hey boys, I gotta hop out of here. But it's good seeing everybody. It's fun being on WREXtra time. And on that bombshell, I will see you guys later.
In a bit.
I gotta jump out too.
Cool.
Time to clean up the cat's mess.
Right, no problem.
Bye. Hey, thanks for having me on, Paddy.
You're welcome.
Cabs, have a great time.
You too. It's in a bit.
Have a good day, everybody. Beautiful day. On that bombshell.
See ya. Guys, I'm going to put the link back out again. If anybody else wants to jump in, maybe a newbie who hasn't been on the show before, it would be nice to see a new face. Right, so the next question is, we've been talking a little bit about other teams and using it against other teams. How do you think this style is going to work again at home versus Preston next? And their style. They don't leave in a lot of goals.
They don't. They're also quite defensive. We went up.
Yes.
We drew with them. We did. So, but if we're aggressive enough, if we can get the balls into the areas that we need to, do they play a similar system to us? I think they do, don't they? Or do they play a 4-4-2?
I'll check their last match now, and I'll bring it up in a second.
Yeah, because if we can get the ball again, if we can do the same thing we can do, execute those passes. I'm guessing on the training pitch they're going to be able to work on this now, kind of movement, and get more critical pattern.
They played a 3-5-2 in the last match.
3-5-2.
Yeah.
So they play something similar to us as well. Our particular players that we've chosen are just constantly crossing as well. But it's going to be hard to know because we were overloading all the players today. Can we do the same thing against them? Are they just going to go on a counter attack and go on the transition, get the ball off of us once they can, and just sprint to the other end? Is that what they're going to do?
Probably.
I mean, that's what Derby basically did with Birmingham today. Yeah. Sorry, John.
But here's the thing. What's interesting today is, let's say we have more of the ball and we're not getting as many breakaways. If they do give us time on the ball, so let me just look at their last match out of curiosity. Yeah, they ended up with 42% possession in their last match with Stoke. So similar to us, we would end up normally with 40%, and they'd end up with, the other team would end up with 60-ish. So yeah, they kind of play like us. So with this new style, aggressive, 3 up front, I don't think we're going to hoofball it at them either. You know, I think we can play this style. It'll just be, are we good enough to pass it around them?
We should be able
to play like this with 3 attackers up the front this time.
Yeah,
I think we're good at breaking them down with this, but we just have to learn to use it in different ways, and it's going to take a while to figure it out. But I'd say we have a bit of a shot. Now, they're a good team. You know, they're up in the playoffs for a reason, because they're difficult to break down.
That's the thing.
But this is something we need to learn. We need to learn how to break someone down when they're playing a defensive style, and we need to be able to counterattack fast against other teams who want to play football and hold the ball against us. And I think we have a shot at it with this style. We'll just have to figure that one out. Because previously we couldn't play. If people gave us the ball and we had 60% possession, you're doomed. You're not going to win. At least it seems that way from the stats. Because today was probably the first time that we got near 60% possession and won a match. You know, it's not comfortable for us. But today's style, I think, works a lot better to that than our previous style.
Absolutely. I mean, it was just so much more cleaner. Everything about it was just clean. We were passing the ball. We were carrying the ball. The one thing that I've been saying, I'm sure everyone else may have been saying as well, just pass the ball, get the ball into the right areas. And we managed to play Thomason in a position. A lot of people thought Thomason, everyone was trying to basically write him off. I'm like, no, don't write him off. He's got something going for him. You found him his position.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is another one I mentioned to Aaron. I said, you know what? This could be our left wing backs for now. Thomason and Kakache. Let them fight it out a little bit. Because we do need to still see what Kakache can do in that position with the same roster kind of everywhere else. But yeah, this could be his spot. And I've been waiting for something all season from Thomason. Now, he's been okay in matches. He looks fine. He's a championship level player. But I've kind of been waiting to see how good of a championship player might he be. And tonight's match is the first time where I've looked at him and said, yeah, that position suits him, and he's playing like a higher level championship player. He's comfortable there. I'm comfortable with him being there. If I see him in the lineup in that position in future, this shows me a lot of good for him. And I've been waiting for that from him because he was a League One player. He has stepped up. So I've been waiting for him to show it.
There is one thing he does need to work on. He's probably going to get better at this over time. It's going to be the defensive work that he has to do.
Yeah.
He was there working with Doyle as well. With Doyle, he was just constantly just doing that. He's not as used to that kind of defensive work that someone like Kakache would have done. So, and he doesn't have the intimidating size, but he does have speed.
Yeah, and what he says here, Thomason was a failure at centre back. Yes, he was, but I don't believe that was ever going to be a permanent position for him. That was filling in, and he got absolutely toasted in that position because of the players around him as well. So.
you know what probably helped him? I mean, him being a centre back. I mean, he does not look comfortable at all being there. But you know what probably helped him out massively? Probably helping out McLean.
Yeah, maybe covering with McLean.
Yeah, because you saw him do overlapping runs. When McLean was there was a lot of overlapping runs he did with him as well to try and cover the area when doing that. But then the only issue was that you had McLean instead of Thomason.
Yeah.
But now you have Thomason with Broadhead being able to work together with them, and then you have Doyle come in to just provide that support at the same time. It's just that constant press that we were putting back, and that pressure we were putting on them. which was ridiculous. They just couldn't. They were bamboozled.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's better.
No, absolutely. Here's another comment from Kim. Sheaf and Maddie James together didn't work before, but today it did. Yeah, it absolutely worked today.
It has worked before. It was against Coventry.
Yeah. Okay. Coventry.
Sheaf and James were the ones. They started that match because we had Kabore and Kakache.
Okay. Kabore and Kakache. Yeah, and there was a different question there as well. Actually, was about Kabore and Kakache. Do we play the same style and just put them in? Don't see why not. If you look at the work that was done on
they
that,
would be faster.
They would be faster, and the defensive side might be better for them. I've been very impressed with the two of them on their defensive duties. So yeah, I think they could potentially be better in those positions.
They'll be more physical as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Thomason is more technical. That's one thing that I would say. Compared to Kakache, I'd say, from what we've seen, Thompson's more technical as opposed to just doing that. He would either cut in or be able to play the passing game within that. And he would go, and if he wasn't there, if he's not there, he would go in he would cut into the midfield, he would be, and he would act as a barrier, as a part of the attacking midfield to just keep the ball going into the box. So it was like a barrier to everything else.
Yeah. What are you saying here? Because we haven't seen it yet. Thomason mentioned support from Doyle in his interview today. So that's interesting. Maybe they've been working on a few things on the training ground, how to work together or whatever, but he gave a shout out for the support from Doyle. Which is, they're on the same side. They were a team, you know. And maybe it's an obvious thing to say as well, when kind of he was supporting Maka and stuff. So shout out someone, but that's good. Here's a big question though. Most important question. Did Ken manage to watch the game? So I thought Ken was supposed to be on the pre-game show, but maybe he fell asleep because it was a late one for him. Maybe he missed it. And you know what? If he did miss it, I hope he doesn't see the score before he watches it. I hope he just wakes up, doesn't switch anything on, sits down and watches the match.
He's going to be jumping for joy. He will.
Yeah. I wonder, will he sneakily check the result, and as soon as he sees the result, go, "Oh no, I shouldn't have checked it."
Oh mate, I bet South America are just jumping for joy right now as well.
Yeah,
that would be incredible.
Okay. Now we're talking about Ken. Okay. Now someone here, Kim as well, said Thomason might outwork Kakache. Might be an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see the comparison between the two. So I don't mind. I don't care. Straight up say, I don't care if Thomason gets the role or if Kakache gets the role, as long as they're good enough. And if the level is equal or better than what Thomason has been doing today, then that's pretty good for me. You know, that's pretty solid in that position.
Pretty much. I mean, there were many things that we could just point to, actually. There were just so many good things. We were just overloading the hell out of them, we were.
Mm-hmm.
So many overloads. The midfielder was overloaded. Constantly. Just constant overloads in the midfield, constant overloads on the wings. They couldn't get through. They couldn't get through on certain points. And when they could try and get through, we'd get there. And the thing that just shocked me was just the amount of times we managed to just pass the ball or carry the ball out of the goal.
Yeah.
Goalie box, instead of just hoofing it. That's the thing that always just got. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. Here's a question that's come to my mind just while we're considering this. We were just considering, obviously, Kakache and Thomason. Now, leaving Kakache out of it, if I tell you in the next match, Kabore is back and he's starting on the right-hand side. Do you want Longman or do you want Thomason on the left?
Thomason. He's faster. And he's more technical.
Okay, good question. Right, sorry, I have actually missed a super chat here, which I just saw in the comments. Sorry, Taffy, I didn't spot it. He would like to ask Habs a question. If we were only to sign one player during the transfer window, what position would that player be in? Interesting question. So
it's easy. Wing back.
There you go. Which one?
Right wing back.
I don't think it's that easy an answer. Actually, because
you're right.
I don't think it is, because like we have Kabore coming back. Now, I'm going to go with the assumption that when he returns, he's nearly as good as he was. Maybe a slight dip or whatever while he's coming back. But if he's playing out in the Afghan and then he comes back and he's back fit and healthy, we have someone on the right-hand side and we have Longman to cover. So would that be the first place?
He's the only wing back we've got of any kind of quality, and Longman isn't. He's good, but when compared to Kabore, who's like levels, there's levels to this kind of thing. Like Kabore is significantly higher, significantly. Like, he will do things that Longman doesn't do, and he's just so fast as well. They just can't touch him. They have to spend so much. They have to spend all their effort to just try and stop him, and all he has to do is just pass the ball, and then they're just stuck having to try and chase the ball around.
Yeah,
It's
a good question. I don't have an easy answer to go against it. Is kind of the point. I don't think it's a simple right wing back, but at the same time, I think that's probably true for a lot of the other positions as well. We do need to upgrade some spots, certainly, but yeah, if it was just one. I
mean, the Dobson role would need an upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd need an upgrade for that significantly.
But have we tried O'Brien there? We just turned around and said Thomason was played in the wrong position.
Yeah, that could be. That might be the case. He can pass the ball. That's the thing with O'Brien. He's very good with passing. So because we relied on his threat to be to press so high that we just forget that we should really put him in a position that would be much more suited.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. But I mean, the only other option we have from Kabore is Longman.
Yeah.
But then, if either of them go out, we do have the other option on the right wing back, Barnett, and I don't really want to be using Barnett.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't own Kabore either. It's not a permanent thing. He could be gone in the summer. If he doesn't come to us in the summer, we still need two on the right hand side. So ultimately, probably yes. You know, now if it means that we take a right wing back in January, and that absolutely means we're not going to get Kabore because he doesn't get to play as much or whatever, you know, he might end up sitting the bench and then he goes elsewhere and we don't buy him, then we just need to buy another right wing back as well. So be it. You know, he's not our player yet. So, yeah, probably all things considered, yes, right wing back, I think.
But then, I'm just wondering, will Thomason improve?
He could.
He's gonna improve. That, like, he's been trying as a attacking midfielder all season. It hasn't quite worked out for him, but he was so deadly today, being on the left. But how much of it was just him being used in that position, and also the fact that Sheffield were probably predicting a different style of play.
Yeah.
So that's also a thing to think about as well. Were they expecting Thomason to be playing like that? Were they even expecting Thomason to be playing there? Were they expecting us to be playing a 3-4-3, a pure 3-4-3?
A pure
And
free,
coming up-
probably not. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a couple of comments here, or at least one. Let me see. Talking about who we would change. Here we go. This the right one. I think we need another right-footed midfielder to play in the middle of rotation with Sheaf and James. This also gives a replacement for Dobson, which is kind of where you said as well. In around there. So yeah, it is another spot that needs to be upgraded. Yeah. Still not absolutely certain on of course Cae on the left, but for the moment now we have two, Thomason and Cae on that side. So that's not urgent.
At least we don't have to use. Here's the thing that was important with McLean. When you saw it in the Swansea match, the amount of space he was just giving up, just so he could try and catch up with them, and all they did was just do a right angle pass, just bypass. They didn't even run past him. They just bypassed him.
Yes, yeah. No, he's not. He's not good enough. Absolutely, he's not.
He's just not capable, and I think from the games that he's played, it's just gotten worse in terms of his performance. Like he isn't performing to the same level as he would have. In particular, I mean, his crosses were just getting worse each time when he even tried to cross. So I think at that point, he just with now that we've got Thomason as the option, I think in this case it's sort of like Birmingham discovering Iwata as their right wing back. We've kind of discovered as their right back. We've kind of discovered Thomason instead of being a midfielder. He's our left wing back, natural left footer, able to cross in, and he's able to cut into the midfield as well. As part of it, because he's a natural midfielder, but being able to play in that left wing back. I mean, the one good thing is that he's going to improve, and he's that much more technical as well. Because you could tell with the way Doyle, the passes we were doing from the back, we were able to get out of it, and we were able to play out the back. You notice that? We were playing out the back.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that. We were playing out the back.
Yeah, we mentioned that a bit earlier. I nearly had a heart attack when they played out. They played about 5 passes in the middle of Sheffield United trying to attack us to get the ball out, and then kept passing it. I'm like, where did this team come from?
That's what I was wondering. I was like, we never played like this.
Yeah.
But this is what we've been asking for.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it's what Parky seems to have been aiming towards since the very start of the season. We could see it. We could see he wanted a bit more passing play. He wanted this crisp passing and not always the long balls. And they were just too slow a lot of the time. Sometimes I saw it. I called it out. That's why everybody keeps talking about triangles, because I've said it enough times this season that they're trying to play, but some of the players just aren't A, good enough, or B, just aren't showing their face that they want the ball. And now it's happening. Like I don't think I saw anybody today that really didn't look like they were on it for passing. Now mistakes happen, so I'm not saying nobody made mistakes, but I think everybody looked somewhat comfortable on the ball today, which I don't always see. That was interesting. Maybe I didn't see Max on the ball too much, but otherwise everyone was quite comfortable.
I mean, he was passing the ball. He was doing the initiation, getting the ball to either Longman or to James, and continue on. He was controlling he was actually doing a lot of control of the game as well, if you've noticed it.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I know I said it earlier about Max that it's the position that's not been upgraded and what have you, but no, he's good, and I hope he can up his level again when we've changed this new style and he doesn't have as much support, and then we'll see how good he is for championship.
That's going to be a thing.
That'll be a thing. He functions well, absolutely. And we'll find out if Josh is right then. Because Josh has been calling for Max to get a break and someone else to be in there. I don't quite agree with that myself, but we'll find out what he's worth in this style, because he's not going to have as much support when attacks come in.
That's true, but he's also part of the. He is part of the attack. He functions like an inverted fullback. Yeah, like an inverted fullback into a midfielder. He does.
Okay. Sorry, just having a look there in the comments. Okay, here's an interesting one. Not quite sure if we're going to dive into this, but who do you drop from the 25 for the second half of the season? Let's not go too crazy into it, but obvious answers. Lee won't be.
McLean.
McLean, potentially now. Yeah. I would never have said that. I don't believe Parky would have dropped him previous to this sort of happening and him getting getting his 3-match suspension. Potentially he might be very upset with that. Because it was a silly thing to do with the amount of injuries we have, especially. So potentially, yeah, McLean might. I do worry about Smith. He's not getting minutes. I think he would absolutely have a place. Sorry, go on.
No, I get that worry as well. It's just he just doesn't get any minutes.
He just doesn't get any minutes, and I wonder why a little bit. But maybe it's clear that in training he's not as good as the other boys. Maybe, I don't know. He obviously doesn't trust him enough to give him more solid minutes over the other players who at that stage are tiring.
It takes about 20 minutes for a player to really get going.
Yeah, can do. By the time he comes on, it's already so late he has to warm up.
That's what the annoying part.
What are you saying here? Lee gone, Macca gone, J-Rod gone. Okay, well, J-Rod just got in, but yes, potentially he'll be out as well. Then Hardy will likely want to go, I think. I think he knows he's got no shot of getting any serious time.
But this system would suit him, though. That's the thing.
Do you know what? Okay, well, there we go. That's a very interesting point. I said not too long ago that if the 3 boys are going to be playing, we might actually need to buy a couple more in January for the front, because who's going to cover for them when they get tired and have to be replaced? Now, maybe Hardy actually would have a spot here in this. That might be true. But interestingly, again, he's not been getting the opportunities otherwise.
Because he could play well off with Broadhead and Windass. He could,
yeah. That's a very good point that I didn't kind of think.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, he usually functions well as the general number 9, but if you have him as the number 9 for that, and then you have Broadhead coming in, being able to put those shots to him, and at the same time have Thomason and Longman coming in, or whether it be the other wing backs, giving him that support that he needs, because he's really good on going on the transition. He is. And he's fast. He's much more better at ball carrying and being technical. We could probably get this right if we can get Hardy in instead for this. This looks more like a system he could play for.
Yeah. Now, here's an interesting point from Nick. This system would suit Hardy, but he won't defend like Kiefer Moore, Smith, or J-Rod.
That's the only downside.
That's
and the hold-up play.
Point. Yeah.
The hold-up play as well as his the aerial duels as well.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one. I do agree with all the comments, but I kind of think that if we're bringing in another player, like now maybe it's too soon for this. I don't know what he's going to do with this system or how quickly he's going to decide this is it for the future going ahead. But if you're saying that Kiefer Moore, Windass, and Broadhead are basically your front three, and we're going to play them going forward in almost every match, you kind of need to bring in someone who can substitute between the three of them. Not for everybody. I know you can have different combinations, but would you want someone better than Hardy? Would you want to upgrade to someone a little bit closer to the quality of the three you have, so that you have 4 for those 3 positions?
You need someone fast.
Of course.
That's one thing. Someone
And
fast.
the proviso is you can always go, in my mind, for every position almost, you can always go for someone young and hope that they step up to the mark. You know, someone on that cusp, and say maybe they're happy on the bench this year, but maybe next year they can steal a spot in the first.
Do you know who I think? Do you know I think who could take Windas's role? Ashfield.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. He's shown he's got that potential in that position, and if you put Ashfield in that position, which he'll be effectively functioning more like a winger than he would be than as a midfielder, but he'll be able to go back and function as a number 10, and then going into a wing, into a right winger.
Yeah, I'm thinking someone still of a higher level at the moment for that position. But I get the point, maybe, yeah. Okay, interesting thought. Right. Okay, we went through all the attackers. Is there anybody we haven't kind of spoken of, just to give everyone their due? Gone through the defense, keeper, AO, midfield. I think we have, haven't we?
I think we pretty much have.
I think we pretty much have. There was the penalty that we should have had, but no one cares because we won 5-3. So
yeah, but we got the penalty that I don't think we should have gotten.
It was close. He put his foot down. I think the defender did touch his foot, but I think he purposely put it down between his legs.
The thing is, though, his feet got in between his legs. He tripped him up straight up.
Yeah,
but he did get the ball.
Yeah, exactly. And you're allowed to put your foot wherever you want. So
yeah, but he got the ball first.
Yeah,
he did get it off of him first. So
he got it. Yeah, but I do think he purposely stepped in that spot to get taken down. Is my point. But I also say that's allowed.
That's what's interesting.
I think he aimed for it. I think he tried to pull the penalty, but I don't think it was a wrong penalty.
I mean, they always. Everyone tries to get a penalty.
Yeah,
if you're at the box, everyone tries to get one anyway. So you dark arch your way into it.
Yeah. Okay. Matt White just followed on from my last conversation there. Good thing about Ashfield is we can play him whenever, since he doesn't have to be registered. That's a good point. But yeah, do you know what? The more I think about it, if we brought in a fourth and then had Ashfield as a fifth, I think that would be good. But then we have a bit of movement, because what if we want to take 2 off? You know, you're not going to leave. You're not going to only take 1 off every time. So yeah, I think that's fair enough, and especially if he's an extra.
Who did we sub on for Broadhead?
Oh, I didn't.
Was it Rathbone? Because Rathbone was playing the Windass role. He was playing the 10. Oh, well.
Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Smith came on for Kiefer Moore first at 82. Rathbone came on for Broadhead at 85. And Jay Rodriguez came on for Windass at 90 plus 1.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, yeah. It was an angry little hamster, he was.
Mm-hmm.
Just going after everything.
Yeah.
He looks like he's improving as well. He's getting I think he will fit this system, he would. Just needs to...
Rodriguez or Rathbone?
Rathbone.
Yeah. Do you know what? The more we talk about this, the more I think if we could stay injury-free or close to it, I don't think we need a hell of a lot of players. We can always upgrade. You know, there are certain players that we can always find better players for their position. But there's not, bar the fact that we don't have a huge amount of depth, if we could keep the players available who we have, I don't think we'd be very bad off for the remainder of the season.
I mean, the thing is that we've never had to play players like this ever. We've never had to play them like this. We properly used Windass and Broadhead together, which we've all asked for because they work well with each other. Along with Moore, when he's when you can get him in the positions, he's dangerous. And in the right spot, he's that, as you say, fox in the box. He gets you those balls where you're like, that's it. That's the right place.
Yeah.
You get it in there. He kicks the ball in, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. But then having to use the wing backs with Thomason using him as the wing backs that we needed, like we were basically stuck with McLean. We were kind of had a weird tunnel vision, like who do we put there? We've never had to use anyone else. We were thinking of using Doyle. We thought about saying, we spoke about Doyle playing there because he has played as that. Just never expected it to be Thomason to go there instead.
A couple of people did say Thomason would potentially be like a utility player going in there. But I don't believe anybody said he could put in this sort of performance.
That's the thing.
You know, I don't think anybody believed that. Because it's such a small sample, I know, right? That's fine. But I think he came close to Cae level today. I really do. And there was something I wanted to say earlier, actually. Let me find it. I wanted to bring this up, so let me just find where it is. 2 seconds, guys. Dead air. I know this is horrendous. Why I do this? Right. Stats, Wrexham. Here we go. No. So there we go. So top scorers, I mentioned earlier, Kiefer Moore. Josh Windass is on 7. Lewis O'Brien is on 3. But then you look at assists. This is the one that caught my eye. George Thomason, 4. George Thomason is now on 4 assists.
That's insane.
That is insane for the amount of time he's been on the pitch.
This is all from today, wasn't it?
Did he get a full 4 today? Let's have a look at that. Let's see. I'm looking at a different screen here. Here we go. No, he got 2.
You got 2 assists. Okay,
2 assists today.
That's half the assists of most of the season for him.
Yeah, but it's still our highest. Like Josh Windass got 3 assists, but they were all in the Coventry match.
That's true.
That was all one match as well.
But he's also one of our top scorers as well.
He is. Yeah, I know that's the difference there. Yeah, because Josh Windass is 10 for assists and goals. But like that's great by Thomason. 2 today in a brand new position, and he's had 2 previously for his bit parts. So yeah, maybe a lot of people were undervaluing Thomason, but when he's asked to do all these weird roles, why wouldn't you kind of underestimate how good he could be? We were all waiting for that breakout performance, and it certainly was today. And he deserved his man of the match, absolutely.
Because I kept saying, look, we are seeing it. He's carrying the ball forward. He was doing all the things he was doing. He's providing support for McLean for many of the times we see him. We see him attack. We see him carry the ball. We see him do the passes. All we need to do is just switch him out for McLean. And that changed the entire dynamic completely. And then have Broadhead and Doyle along with them. That changed everything. And then you have Sheaf as well. That kind of Sheaf and Matty James in there, you just see how different the kind of way he would play. And you could just see how, because he's young and he's much more athletic, look how much faster he is as well.
Yeah.
He may not be perfect in the defense department, defensively, but he's able to do the overload. He's able to work with other people to do overloads.
He is. And one thing I did notice today is his comfort level on the ball. He was really comfortable to just do a 360, basically, and turn, or 180, or whatever, which way you want to say it.
Roulette.
Just turn around, stop, and the defender that was chasing him is just gone a couple of steps, and then he's looking around where to pass, where to move. Yeah, he was very, very comfortable. He wasn't immediately looking for passes. He wasn't afraid of defenders being near him. He knew what he wanted to do, and he was comfortable with that. Now, Matt White says, I choose to stay optimistic about Cae when he gets back on the pitch. I like Cae. I really liked his defensive aspect as well, and I do think that that's potentially a bit better than Thomason.
He's also more physical.
Yeah, he's also a little bit more physical, probably a bit faster as well. So it'll be interesting. We've all wanted Cae to play a couple of matches back to back, and get in with the team, and we wanted to find out his top level. So it'll be interesting to see. And wouldn't it? Well, look, you want one player to kind of take the role, be of a really high standard, and make the spot theirs. So it's an interesting one now that we're kind of suddenly talking about Cae and Thomason fighting it out for the spot. Imagine what we could have done if Thomason had this spot for the last 5 matches. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's not go down things that never happened. But yeah, we're in a good place to be if we have Cae and Thomason fighting for that spot at a high level. And we kind of said both of them are obviously at a higher level than Longman as well. So,
yeah. I mean, I think we needed to lose that match against Swansea. We needed to lose it at that point. I know it's not what we should do, but I think we needed to lose just to get that point across. Yeah. And the circumstances in which occurred as well with McLean getting that 3-match ban, we had to do something. We couldn't.
I absolutely think that's the straw that broke the camel's back, where you did this to yourself. I didn't pull you. I was giving you the chance. I was working with you, and whatever, the captain, you got yourself suspended. And I'm sorry, but now we have someone in that position who's better than you.
And not only that, you're becoming, every time we've tried to play you in that position, you're becoming more of a liability as things go on. And you're not performing like you're 26 anymore, man. You're what, 37?
Okay, this is an interesting comment here from C. Lord of Bravos. Parky's targeting of Thomason for acquisition confused some people. It confused a lot of people because no one knew what he was going to do with him. Now, he was probably worth it just as a bit of a utility player who could play multiple positions and looked like he had the potential of being a solid championship player without costing us too much. But I don't believe for a second that Parky was considering this to be his favourite position. So
he was using it as a midfielder, attacking midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
But he was never thought of being used as a left wing back. And now he's found a position. I think he's found himself a position in this spot, which he has never played at all, and has shown that he can play this position.
Yeah. And
he can play this position dangerously as well.
And however it happened, whether Parky knew it or not, or saw potential that nobody else had, so be it. I don't care if it was luck or not. But he'll get the props because he got him. He'll also get the kicking when he makes mistakes with players, so be it. That's the way of the world. You're the manager, you're ultimately in charge, and you set up the players you want to go after, and Thomason could potentially be a very good player. And even if he leaves us down the road, what age is Thomason? I
think he's 24, 23, 24.
Let me check that. Thomason. He is 24, you're correct. Okay. So 3 years, 27. Yeah.
That's when he starts coming into his prime.
Yeah. He could still be with us for multiple years after that too. But I'm just saying that at 27, we could still potentially move him on for in and around the same money we got him for. You know, could be a great acquisition. And
$1 million quid.
He could be with us for the next 8 years. Who knows?
I mean, he could end up becoming worth a lot more.
He could, absolutely. I'm just saying on the low end, you know, just okay. Let's get a question here. Okay. Do you think that Parky will play the same lineup for the next game?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything he can do now, not after that performance tonight. A couple of little tweaks here and there, maybe swapping 1 or 2 players. Yeah, I don't see that he can really not try this in the next match. And Nick says it here. And I'm going to do on that bombshell because we've been at 145. Great show, everybody. Thank you for coming. Like, subscribe, do all that jazz. And on that bombshell, if he doesn't and we lose, he'll never live it down. Parky has walked himself into that. So,
yeah.
Take care, everybody.
See you in a bit, guys.
Bye.